Erin, welcome to the Busy Working Show. I've been looking forward to having you on for such a long time. How are you doing?
I am awesome, Paul. I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to talking with you again and sharing this conversation with everyone else, too.
What have you been up to lately?
Oh my God, what have I been up to lately? Let's see, I think since the last time you and I talked, we have rebranded and relaunched and reiterated our entire business. So, nothing. Absolutely
No.
nothing.
Well, tell me more about that. What has that process been for you?
It's interesting because to me, this is an ongoing process. This is Conquer Your Business. My business it's about 4.5 years old. And this is what I consider my third iteration. And in business, right, markets change, you change, your clients change. If you don't iterate your business, right, it's one of those things, if you're not growing, you're dying. There is no standing still. So while it's a heavy lift to get it all done, especially this time because this was a really big iteration,
Sure.
if you want to continue growing, it's a necessary process. It's an absolutely necessary piece of the puzzle. I've watched so many great businesses kind of die on the vine when they don't iterate and end up lagging behind what's going on in the market instead of moving out in front of it.
So tell me a little bit more about what iteration means to you. Like, how much are you changing? Because the core of who Erin isn't changing, is it?
No, and the core of what we do for our clients didn't change.
Gotcha.
So that's a really, really good point. There's a very big difference between pivoting and I tried this and it didn't work, so I tried that, and looking like you're, doing the next big thing, and which really makes you look like you don't know what you're doing, versus iterating your business where the outcome we provide to our clients hasn't changed. The outcome in 4.5 years hasn't changed. I help businesses grow, become scalable, make more money. We shorten their learning curve, right? That hasn't changed. Heavy impetus on the marketing, messaging, business strategy side versus other aspects of it. What's changed is how we talk about what we do. What's changed is who it is that we help. Like, this is the perfect example. The reason this iteration happened when it did, and truthfully, it happened about 9 months before it was planned, right? So I had this on my radar to happen at the end of 2023, and instead it happened in the second quarter. And it happened because of what I was watching going on in the economy. So this is a big, keep your eye out for this in your own business and in your own efforts. What we saw happen in 2022 and then into the beginning of 2023 is what I call my very unscientific but massive observation. The bottom third of every market just kind of went away. It went away because people didn't have any money. The government stopped printing the COVID money. The money went away. The people who previously had money and were willing to spend money, if you were serving roughly the bottom third of the market, your market went away. Your clients, your prospects went away. They didn't have the money to spend, right? Things got so expensive that what used to be, right, what used to be a necessity now became, oh, do I really want that?
Yeah.
And so in my own business, there was a portion of my business that was really geared towards those entrepreneurs and business owners who were trying to reach the 6-figure mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those people ran out of money. Now, there was also a very big portion of my business of clients who were looking to reach the 7-figure mark.
Gotcha.
So the iteration that we made is, who do we focus our leveraged offer on?
Yeah.
Not just our private clients and our higher level offers, but who do we offer our leveraged offers to?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you may have said this already or we're heading this way, is that, I mean, that should be the evolution of a business. We should always be looking for those trends and always be looking for what's on the horizon so that you can be present and relevant as things develop in the economy, but the environment as a whole.
Yeah, and at the same time, right? At the same time, I was growing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
was getting truthfully pure, pure transparency. I was getting bored. I was getting
Gotcha.
frustrated. I
Mm-hmm.
was getting tired of what I felt like teaching the same thing over and over and over again,
Gotcha.
which meant my energy wasn't where it was when I started that effort.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? If I can't get excited about it, how can I teach it and be excited about it? Right?
Yeah.
So the more complicated marketing strategies that can happen at the higher levels when you have a team to depend on, the higher level business strategies, marketing strategies that I am excited to implement. Originally, who I had previously been marketing to, they weren't ready for those strategies yet,
Yeah.
which
That
is
makes
perfectly
perfect
fine.
sense.
I just didn't want to play in that space anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. So as you're, recognizing this, and you're in iteration 3, so you're continuing to evolve and to point things out to yourself and take advantage of those. Where did you? What are you building on a whole? I mean, are you actively thinking about building a legacy, or is that something that's not? Is that saved for later?
No, no. I think that's one of the unfortunate all or nothing thinking. Like human brains have this problem with all or nothing.
Yeah.
And we don't understand what step can we take now. So in terms of legacy, there's two sides to the legacy I'm building. So personally, I'm very involved in animal rescue. I have volunteered in dog rescue for 10 years. I volunteered in wildlife rescue for 3 or 4 years after that. And so I have a foundation that is attached to my business that we're launching, right?
It's
But at the
awesome.
same time, so that's one side of legacy. But the second side of legacy is why I even do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's twofold for me. I truly believe that there is an absolute amazing thing that happens for people when you can feel in charge of your own destiny, like to get all big fancy words out, right? Like when you feel that the world around you happens because of you and not to you.
Yeah.
That's a very important piece of my world. And so by iterating my business, the impact we're having on the clients, right? Like attracts like. So I attract very purpose-driven payday people,
Yeah.
right? And so by teaching them how to build their businesses, how many things are happening at once that can be considered legacy? Number one, they get to have a bigger impact on their family. Number two, they get to have a bigger impact on whatever means the most to them from a charitable standpoint. Number three, they get to hire more people.
Yeah. For
Who
sure.
then get to do the same. So
Yeah.
the legacy that we're building, and actually, my business development guy, Alex, and I, we were talking about this morning because at time of recording, I have an event coming up in a couple days, and we're so excited about this because we're talking about, oh my God, it's just so exciting when you get to help people do what it is that they want to do. And additionally, by iterating my business so that it continues to grow and I continue to grow and the money is there that is needed, I get to continue doing something I decided a long time ago, which is if I was going to charge less than $1,000 for something, I would give it away.
Gotcha.
Right? So
Yeah.
I decided that a long time ago. Now, if I was not iterating my business and desperate for income, I could become susceptible to lowering my prices and trying to make $1 off of everything because I needed the money, right? That scarcity mindset. But since I'm not in that situation, I get to maintain this value we have of not everybody needs to pay me. Not everybody should pay me. There's a lot of businesses out there that haven't reached the level yet that can afford me. That's great. Let's help them for free.
Yeah.
They're great people
Absolutely.
doing amazing things. Let's just go help them for free as part of our education-based marketing approach. But
Yeah.
you can't, right? You can't help people for free. It's the whole put your oxygen mask on first. You can't help people for free if you're running out of money where you should be charging.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And that is the perfect example. You got to put your oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, how does this play in to the obviously you've got this charitable side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance this? Is it inseparable, or is it something that you feel is non-negotiable?
For me, it's a non-negotiable because the charitable side of it is what fills my cup. And it's like, it's not linear. Mm-hmm. It's not ebb and flow. It's so intertwined that I almost can't even answer that question, right?
Yeah.
It's so intertwined that in my brain, it doesn't make sense, because the charitable side of my time in business is what allows me to do the heavy lifting and the hard part of what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. So where did you learn this from? Do you have, is it from mentors, or how did this shape come for you?
Well, okay, so part of it's from mentors. I was very, very lucky in my corporate world, in 2 different jobs, 2 different big companies, to have mentors that, for absolutely no reason other than because of who they were, helped me. Yeah. Now, granted, I had to do my part. I had to show up. I had to have a work ethic. I had to contribute. But because I did what I did, they just poured into me.
Yeah.
They just, right, I've had that on 2 different occasions where people brought me into rooms that were above my pay grade, where people took a personal interest in my success. And it did so much for me that it inspired me to want to do that for others.
Yes.
Right? So I learned that firsthand. And the second place was really going back to the iterations of my business. When I first launched my business, we really focused on messaging and marketing, right? Mm-hmm. This is what you need to do. How do I do this? This is what you need to do. And the personal journey that I had to go on as an entrepreneur is where I learned the mindset work. I come out of corporate. You just worked harder. This was not
exactly.
This was not stuff I knew about. I come out of Chicago public schools, right? And in the 70s and 80s, and then big business. Mindset and limiting belief. Like, I didn't know what that was. When I first started going to seminars and meetings about that stuff, one of the women that became my mentor, I laughed because when we met at one of these events from her mentor that her mentor was hosting, she was sitting next to me, so I was asking her questions, and I'm like, separately, I understand the definitions of the words he's using, but like when you put it together like that, I have no idea what this guy's talking about. Like, I was that far behind in the mindset game. It just wasn't my world. I didn't know it. So the first business that I launched was, how do you do this? And the second iteration of this business was based on my personal journey into the mindset work. And that's when I added who you needed to be in order to do it.
Yeah. That's
right.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so just from the personal journey that I went on in order to build my business is really where I now understand that if I'm not filling my cup, I can't do the things that I want to do. Mm-hmm. So again, it's just so intertwined at this point.
Yeah. And I think ideally, for me at least, and it sounds like for you, that's the best way for it to be. It should be just an extension of what you're doing. Whatever it is, whether it be, helping that lower third, or that external part of your
or cleaning out the raccoon cage so that
exactly. Yes. Yeah, I'll tell you a story about a raccoon at a different time. But my camping trip in Virginia. Yeah. But okay, so if we're to change this up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you were to write yourself a letter to yourself in 15 years, what would you say to yourself?
This is be braver. Be braver. Be bolder. And this is where, it's not a huge problem that I have, and yet, the thing that I watch happen is people like entrepreneurs, business owners, they underestimate how much action has to happen in order to achieve the results that they want. And the reason that they don't take more action is some kind of fear, scarcity, or limiting belief.
Yeah.
And right. And one of the pieces of advice that I got along the way is you don't get the business you deserve. You get the business you ask for.
Yeah.
And I don't deserve this because I'm hardworking. I don't deserve this because I'm smart. I don't deserve this because of XYZ or whatever. You really only get the business that you create and the business that you ask for. And my constant question that I'm asking myself, kind of as my litmus test everywhere, is, am I being courageous enough? Am I being bold enough? That doesn't mean aggressive, by the way.
Sure.
It
Yeah,
doesn't mean
absolutely.
shout louder. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean ask 15 times instead of 3 times. Right? So don't confuse bold and brave with necessarily inappropriately aggressive. That's
Yeah.
that's not what I mean. But where am I asking for one where I should be asking for three? Where am I,
Sure.
right? Like,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
am I limiting myself instead of going for more? Because what is it like? I'm not going to say this quote correctly because I don't know who made it, but life responds based on the demands that you make,
Oh, yes, without a doubt. Without
right?
a
I
doubt.
mean, what you get, what you receive, what you create is based entirely on what you demand and then go make happen. Zero entitlement, by the way. Negative entitlement, if that's a thing. Zero entitlement. But so where do you need to ask for more? Expect more of yourself.
Yeah,
Ask
absolutely.
for more from yourself. Put
Yeah.
yourself out there more.
Just had that a similar conversation with one of my daughters. I think maybe a day or two ago, and it's about allowing yourself to dream, and there's this. I've run into a mentality before where it's like, well, you're dreaming a little bit too big because that's just unrealistic. Like, my gosh, what a miserable existence. I don't have to attain every perfect thing that I see that I build this dream around. But if I get even remotely close,
Right.
my life is going to be way fuller than the one who says, "Oh, don't dream that big because you're just going to be disappointed." Like,
Right.
I think you're already there. You just don't know it yet.
Right, right. It's what is it? Shoot for the stars so that you reach the moon. Like,
Yeah.
and at the same time, understand that when you don't receive or create the thing that you're trying to, you always have to look, what could I have done differently? Did I do everything I needed to do, right? You look internally, but then also know that oftentimes there's a reason for it for your benefit.
Sure.
The thing that you
Absolutely.
end up with is better than the thing that you asked for. Had you gotten the first thing you asked for, the first thing you thought you wanted, what would not have happened?
Yeah. Without a
And by
doubt.
the way, it never feels that it's for your benefit in the moment.
No,
Like,
not
the
in the
process does not feel beneficial in any
No.
way, shape, or form.
No, it sure doesn't. It doesn't.
No.
So, well, I'm excited to continue to see the iterations. This current one, and I
Me
love.
too.
Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. But I
God,
thoroughly enjoy, seeing everything that you're sharing on LinkedIn. You definitely are a bold light that I've come to look forward to. So, outside of LinkedIn, where can people find you?
Outside of LinkedIn, we make it real easy for you. Like, put everything in one place. Conqueryourbusiness.com. If you just go to the website, conqueryourbusiness.com, you'll find all our free resources. You'll find out how to get a hold of me. Absolutely love connecting with people.
Yeah, and I can say that. And talking about connecting, thanks, Frank, for connecting the two of us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm very grateful for that and grateful for this time. So, Erin, thank you so much. All technical difficulties conquered, and now we can go and see what the rest of the day has for us.
Yeah, see what unfolds. Thank you so much.